Hello there. Today we're here in Gerudo Desert, because it's where cacti live. And because it's where today's shrine is, Mise Suma, the shrine that requires the quest The Perfect Drink to enter. Pokki out here is dehydrated, or so she says, and she needs a drink to move. Specifically, a noble pursuit from the local bar. And that bar won't serve Link because he's too young. So this is definitely full of alcohol. So yeah, I'm not buying her story. So it's pretty obvious what's happened here. She got smashed, wandered into the desert, and now wants more booze. But you know what? I need to get into this shrine. I mean, other than being charged with assault, I could just push you off. But my list of crimes is already pretty high here, and I don't need any more charges. My original plan for this shrine was to deliver the ice to Gerudo Town without the Gerudo outfit. It is very doable using the methods of entering without the outfit that I covered in my Entering Gerudo Town Without the Gerudo Outfit video. But I feel like that's just beating a dead horse at this point, using those methods. Why do I have footage of that? Hey, I'm me, but from the future. Past me over there, he made a mistake. And that mistake was for some reason thinking you had to deliver the ice into Gerudo Town. You see, when I came back to record the footage of Pokki and the bar, I actually read the text for the first time in probably since the game came out, and realized I don't have to take the ice to Gerudo Town, but just outside of Gerudo Town. So yeah, delivering the ice without the Gerudo outfit isn't an accomplishment, and I'm glad that's not the route I took. So anywho, back to the video. Sorry for that confusion. So instead, because this bar is going to get somebody killed at this rate, they don't get the ice. I'm instead going to deliver it to someone who deserves it more. Now, the entire challenge of this quest is getting the ice to Gerudo Town before it melts, carrying it over a somewhat short distance. So obviously, the impractical thing to do would be to deliver it to, instead, let's see, Robbie on the complete opposite corner of the map. And in order to do that, we need to understand this ice inside and out.
I gotta be the marble!
There are a number of conditions that are checked in order to determine if the ice should melt, and how fast. The first and main condition is temperature. If the temperature around the ice gets too high, the ice starts to melt. And if the temperature is high enough, like being near fire, it'll melt way faster. We can circumvent this by altering the temperature around Link and ultimately the ice with elemental weapons. Using an ice rod to lower the temperature to aid against the temperature changes throughout the world. This is not perfect and eventually becomes a moot point, but every little bit helps, I guess. The second condition is shade, because it's cooler in the shade. If the temperature is too high, even well beyond the normal melting threshold, if the ice is sitting in shade, it stops melting. This is likely because the intended time of day to do this quest is when the sun is up and it's really hot outside, because the store is effectively closed at night. This allows players the option to take breaks while dispatching enemies on the way to Gerudo Town. The third factor is, weirdly enough, water. Because, fun fact, this ice melts extremely fast in water. Be it still water or the actual obstacle we have to worry about, rain. It's always rain. Getting caught in the rain effectively ends any chance of making it across the map. So I took to the desert at night, and traveled only at night. Sunlight is very bad for ice, and the temperature has to be extremely low. Like negative temperatures on the top of a mountain in the snow low, for it to not melt. But with the low temperatures of the desert, and an ice rod, the entire desert trek is completely safe. Reaching the first stopping point, a stable. All of the stables are safe places because, well, they're inside, they're 100% shade, and we can rest until nightfall. This entire trip is just staying in the shade, making haste throughout moonlit areas, all while dodging enemies and whatnot. There is an issue with running across the entire map this way. Mentioned before, it's rain. It literally just wrecks your whole day. The furthest I made it with this method was wetland stables. Because it's wet, And that was back when I was just doing things on Reddit, so I don't have any recorded footage of it, unfortunately. And it doesn't help that I don't have Gerudo completed on this file. There really seems to be a theme here, and almost getting zapped because I haven't done Naboris on this file. So endless rain stopping me, just a massive wall of rain. And there's the burning factor of Death Mountain combined with open fields at the end that are going to prevent this method from working without absolute perfect cloud cover the entire time. I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just extremely implausible. But as many of you saw in my Taquomo video, it opened with me trying to open the door all the way up here with ice. So, obviously I have another way. It all began with moon jumps, or so the legend says. Grabbing the ice, waiting until the sun goes down, and heading north instead of east. Scaling up the mountains, past the hideout, and all the way up to the giant sword. It's important to be this high up because, well, the ice doesn't melt up here at this altitude. It's always super freezing, so be sure to wear extra pants. We're all the way up here because we're going to be doing a BLSS, or a bow lift smuggle slide, across the entire map. But this glitch doesn't work with moon jumps active. Moon jumps works because of how it prevents certain states from changing, which is why it's so annoying to switch from moon jumps back to falling and then back to moving. And BLSS works by transferring Link into a state that keeps the step-up state from ending. They conflict, that's the easiest way to look at it, and you don't actually need to understand how they work. But it just so happens that there's a Lionel up here and he's begging to be ridden. And mounting that Lionel removes your moon jumps. And dear God, don't melt the ice! Alright, it's okay, he dead now. We can use one of the many random snow cliffs up here to begin a BLSS across the entire map. Now the awkward part. I don't really have anything to talk about during this flight. It's just painful. Something interesting that happened during this, even the extreme cold temperatures of this altitude, and it being at night, the Death Mountain region still gets hot enough to melt the ice. And I've never made a turn so hard in my life. Now this was just a 6-minute BLSS, but it was destroying my hands doing the little wiggles to keep up speed. This is actively like hurting my hands. Oh great, this is wonderful. What I needed is a huge fog. Make it completely invisible. Not like my joints are breaking right now. But we finally made it to Robbie's lab. We finally made it to Robbie's lab. We finally just drop already. That's okay, I don't need my legs. Hey Robbie, I got some ice for you.
Oh, hello there. I didn't order any ice.
I know, but it seemed like you could use it far more than that alcoholic Pokki. By the way, do you know how I can enter a shrine without actually opening the shrine?
Come close. I'll tell you my secret ways. All you have to do is subscribe.
What does that even mean? Robbie? Robbie? Robbie! Ah, screw it. I'm just gonna shield clip in. And that's it for Mise Suma, meaning only 6 shrines remain.